Do you have a mouthy weanling that bites? Well, stick around because I'm going to show you how to fix it and a few other groundwork techniques that will earn his respect. Welcome back to Becky Amio Horse Training. This is AJ Collins Queso Rock. He is number 6 in a lineup of full siblings that I have started in my career here in South Dakota. Now, this is going to be a little bit longer intro because I want you guys to see how much he is just in my space. He's pushy, he's mouthy. This colt has been handled a lot, and they just come out this way, regardless of whether they're handled or not. They're super, super friendly. They're really confident. They don't have any fear. By the same token, these colts are really easy to place in homes when they're older because they're friendly and they get along with everybody. So you kind of pick your poison there, what you'd rather prefer. I can fix this. So he's even got the lead rope in his mouth there. You know, this guy, I've been kind of getting away with haphazardly leading him from his little corral to the round pen, not really making him follow any rules. He kind of just trots along next with me because he's so friendly and he wants to be with people. Like if he ever got loose from me, he'd come right back over to me. That's the kind of horse that he is. And so today I decided it's time to start laying down some rules. It's time for Queso to have some rules. So I start today with making him, just do some turns on the forehand, turns on the haunches, moving away from pressure and staying out of my space. And I wanted to show you guys how pushy he is and how mouthy he is because this is going to come back to haunt him in a couple of minutes. And you're going to see how I handle it when he gets mouthy with me. And I think it's a good example for people who have written into me and say, what do I do with my colt that's biting at me? Because this guy's a little guy right now. He's an August baby, and he's considered a yearling by the calendar standards, but truly he's only 6 months old, so I call him a weanling. He's on the smaller side, and I still have the upper hand right now. When he pulls away from me and whatnot, I still have a little bit of leverage. And I need to take care of this now before it becomes a great big problem. So I'm starting out here with a really basic technique where you flip the lead rope up over their head and bend it around their body, getting them to follow their nose. This guy doesn't really care about me putting the lead rope over his head. He doesn't care about the lead rope touching his body. It's just all pretty boring to him. He hasn't accepted that he's actually in school right now. They're all really sweet and cute and fluffy and pretty and wonderful until you ask them to do something. And this guy is going to show us proof today that he has a wonderful disposition until he's asked to do something, and all horses are like this. So this is the most frustrating thing to me when people don't use their horses, when they don't ride them, when they don't do any sort of groundwork with them. They don't know what they have. And I've now worked on 6 of these full siblings, and they've been absolutely a treat to work on, and they've been wonderful, and they've all gone on to just outstanding homes. The gray horse that I'm riding in my intro video, that's his full brother. He's the first one that I ever rode of this particular cross. Now I just keep on bending him around. He's learning how to give to his face. He's learning to have stuff drug over his face, all over his body. He's a little bit irritated there. You see the flicking of the tail. He doesn't really understand why he's being expected to do anything at this point in his life. Watch right here. He's going to reach out and try to take a nibble of me, and I nail him. And this is why it's so important to get them and be prepared for it before it happens, and always come back in and pet on them after you've nailed him. So he was testing his boundaries. He was trying to see if, I was his equal, if he could play with me like he plays with his friends, and I'm not going for it. So now I'm trying to ask him to move that front end over out of my space. And now is when we really start to see this really sweet, gentle, cute, fluffy colt throw a fit because I'm asking him to do something. He's mad because he didn't get his way when he bit me and I got after him for it. And now he's pulling this, I'm not even comfortable with you on my right side anymore. See how that escalated really quick? Now, imagine if he was bigger. Boy, that would really suck. He'd drag me all over this round pen. So it's really good to nip this stuff in the bud right now. Bring him back out to where you guys can see it in the camera. Get us back out in front of you and ask for it again. Just slowly ask him to cross that front right leg over the left one. And there, I got it. And then I release. Leave him alone, pet on him. He wants to walk away from me. He's like, I'm out of here. I don't want to participate anymore. I'm canceling my subscription. I don't want to be your friend. I just want you to leave me the heck alone. And I'm going, no, we have rules. You have to do this a couple of times and understand where your space is. Now, I want you guys to remember the reason that I'm asking him to do this is because we're thinking about the future horse that we're going to be leading, riding, and what's going to carry through the rest of his life. We don't want a horse that runs around the front of us when spooked or when he wants to walk ahead of us. He needs to stay with us. He needs to respect our space. And here, he's going to test me again. Watch. As I'm petting him, rubbing on him, I'm trying to ask him to move away again, and he decides to bite me again. That's his response to being asked to do something. So again, we have this really sweet, gentle colt that's just super kind and nice that I know what the finished product is going to be like. And I know what I went through with all of his brothers and sisters. And I know what I've done with all the other colts that I've worked on. And you just have to, this is the school of hard knocks. You go through this with them. They're all a little bit mouthy. You have to get after them right away and establish that you are their partner. They are not to treat you like one of their friends. When they get mad, they're going to have to figure out another way to express their anger than to take it out on you when they don't want to do something. And we're not asking a whole lot of him, okay? This is the equivalent to a 10-year-old child. We're not asking very much here. We're just asking him to move a little bit out of our space. And so I make the little movement short and sweet. I always come back and pet him on the head and reassure him. I work on the other side now, and he thinks that he needs to do these big movements and jump away from me. And that's fine. This shows me he has some feel. He does have some reaction. He was a little bit dull there when we first started, and he was acting like, he didn't care and he was bored. And now I have his attention, don't I? So now I'm going to start asking him to move that hind end over. Always start with petting him on his head and his neck, working my way back. Find the spot on his side where my leg is going to eventually be and ask him to move that hip over. Keep that front end still. And just take a step over and move away from pressure. Again, this guy has been rubbed on and petted on and been handled. And again, I want to emphasize that would not have made a difference with this horse. Some folks don't like colts to be touched before they get them. This colt, the way they come out of the womb, they come out super friendly, super gentle, and nothing bothers them. So it really doesn't make a difference whether he was handled or not. It just made him a little bit more friendlier, and he likes people because he likes to be scratched on and a lot. So I'm just telling him now, I'm sensitizing him to pressure. Now we do all this desensitizing. I am sensitizing this colt to pressure. This means something. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting a cue to these pressure points. And I'm asking him to move over when I put my hand into his side, about the same place my leg would go when I would be on his back, and he's not responding. So I'm going to swing the rope here, and I'm going to spank him on his butt to move over. My release probably could have happened a little bit sooner. Look at the little tail flick there. He's a little bit irritated. He doesn't really like having rules. And again, this is his first time having a session. He's never been told that he had rules. So again, I'm going to tell him to move over using my rope, just a little swing, get a teeny little step. I get a little teeny flick of the tail, but I go back to petting him, and we're friends again, okay? So I'm ready to go here. I'm going to ask him with my hand for the step over, give him some space there. The camera starts to lose me for a second, but I got him to step over. So I'm going to quit with that for right now and move back to the other side. Lots of petting, lots of rubbing on him. He wanted to step out a little bit, so I stop him and change directions. That's another thing that's going to help with that one, with them when they want to walk out in front of you like they do. When they get a little pushy in your space, I'm going to make him move his feet again and ask him to cross over in front. That's all I'm looking for, is that one little step across, and I quit and I go to petting him with that, and then I bring him back towards me again. So a lot of asking him to move his feet at this point, okay? I'm going to go back to working on the right side. Remember in the beginning, he wasn't real happy with me working on this right side after I nailed him for biting me, and all of a sudden he decided he wasn't comfortable with me over there. So we're going to work through this and see if we can't get this nipped in the bud before we finish our session today. So now we have a much more reasonable, compliant, non-reactive individual who's understanding that he is being sensitized, and he's given a cue of where we expect him to put his feet. We're setting boundaries. We're telling him this is our space. You have to respect our space, and we've established that we're his partner and that we're not one of his buddies that are just in this pen with him screwing around and playing for the afternoon. Something else that I want you guys to understand too is that this video, the total video was only 17 minutes of footage that I've managed to edit down to about 12 minutes for you. It doesn't take a long time to get this out of a horse. You don't have to do this for hours and hours and hours. If I was here for an hour, if I was here for a half an hour, I probably would have burned him out and I would have gone backwards with him. Look at him now. He's got a leg cocked. This is the first time he's cocked his leg the whole session. He's pretty quiet. He's accepting what we're doing. He's moving away from pressure. And I'm going to quit with that. I really hope this helps you guys a lot. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.